Here it is.
All right, you guys might get these little things that
Yeah, thank
you
you
have
very
to
much. I
confirm.
appreciate that.
Okay.
You're a rock star, Steve.
Here we go, guys. Here we go. Now, if I can share the screen, it's going to be Tall Cotton. And Wayne, if you're not doing anything Saturday afternoon, my wife and I are going to the weight game. So we'll see if we can bring them a little luck. I haven't been to the Joel in a long time, but it's a great place to watch a ball game. Hopefully they can take it to Virginia. All right, guys, I am going to flip over to sharing my screen. Can you see that?
Not yet. Yes. 30x. Got it. You're
Yes,
doing
sir.
good. I'm impressed.
Can you hear it?
No, not yet.
Can you hear it?
Not yet.
No.
All right, there's one more. What do I have to do for that?
Hit
Share
play.
sound. There it is. All right. Let's give us one more shot.
Well, hey, welcome back to 30X.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
are on day.
Everyone can hear it okay?
Yes,
Everybody
absolutely.
can see it okay?
Yes.
All right, buckle in. Here comes the Australian at full speed.
10. You're almost 1/3 of the way through 30X. Hopefully some of the strategies and the homework you're doing is having an impact already. If not, you got to keep going and keep working at it. Keep making that list of ideas after ideas. If you need any help, remember to reach out to your local action coach and get some help. All right, today we're staying on the marketing subject. Today we're looking at online and social media, your website and social. Now, I'm going to try and be overall on this sort of stuff. If I get too specific, the algorithms are going to change next month.
Sorry, what's that, guys?
No, I just said it's so fast. It is just incredible.
I mean, we can slow it down. It's
No,
going to
no,
just.
no. I've already watched it, so I'm just doing a reschedule.
Okay, here we go.
And therefore that information will be updated. So this info is going to get you all you need to know, but you got to keep up with the latest on the algorithm shifts and all of the things that you need to be aware of. So websites, let's start there, okay? Your main website. Your website is basically your billboard to the outside world. This is where the outside world comes to find out who you are, what you do, what you sell, how much it is. They need all the information to make a decision. Some people need one page to make a decision. Some people will read all 472,000 pages on the web. Now, different people need different levels of information. So, first and foremost, I want to remind you, your website is about two things. Number one, selling people, and number two, helping people find you. The most important priority, in my opinion, is that your website sells. The selling of the website, or it selling someone on your product or service, is more important than them finding you. Yes, it's vital that they be able to find you. But if people are finding you brilliantly and then the website doesn't sell them anything, it's amazingly brilliant SEO so everyone can find you and the organic searches are brilliant, but they don't buy from you, then the website's a complete waste of time. So remember, the priority is that it sells, and the second priority is that people can find you based upon it. Now, there's no reason that they are mutually exclusive. A lot of the times the things you do that will sell are also great things to help people find you, okay? And vice versa. So I'm going to take you through my top 21 strategies on the website. Then we're going to look at social media, and I'm going to do my top 21 strategies on social media, or 21 things that are most important on social media. So website, number one, your front page is your headline. Your front page is where you should be investing 50, 60, 70% of your time on your website. What happens on your front page is the most important thing on your website. When people first find you, that page is the one that needs to be ideal. It needs to be fairly crisp, fairly clean. People need to easily see when they hit that page where they need to go. You don't want to give them 4 million options. You don't want it to be too cluttered. You actually want them to get onto that website and go, oh, that's what I'm looking for. The number one biggest mistake on websites is it's hard to navigate. It's hard to find things. When people get off of a website, it's because, I couldn't find it. And the patience level of people these days, remember, the most used button on the internet is the back button. Go back and look again. Go back and look again. So you want your website to have the information available easily, freely, and people be able to get around it. So be real clear that that front page of yours needs to be strong. Invest your time. Use Google Analytics to be able to evaluate it. Heat map your website. If you don't know what that means, find your 12-year-old kid. They'll tell you what that means. Now, look, go to Google Analytics and understand what your front page, what's working on there, what's not, what buttons are getting clicked, what buttons are not. That's what we need to be able to do with our front page. Be clear on why people are coming to your website. See, for me at Action Coach, I'll give you a simple example. People come to us at Action Coach to either find a business coach, to get online help now, to read articles, to watch videos, etc., or to become an action coach. There's the 3 reasons people come to us. You've got to be clear on yours as well. People aren't coming to you for 100 reasons. They're coming to you for 1, 2, 3, 4 reasons at most. Don't try and make it over complex. Don't have scrolling stuff through. Just make it clear, make it simple, make it easy for me to click the next button. You want them to click the next next button almost immediately because you want them to be able to. Now, I'm a firm believer in the front page also being long form. I want the front page to be able to be scrolled down. So if someone only hits one page, they can find out a vast majority of the information they need. There's people like me out there who don't want to click through 400 pages. We hit one page, we want to be able to read what we need and find what we need on that front page. So I am a believer in long form front pages, and that also goes to the fold. Okay, yes, in the newspaper it was where the fold is. Well, in a front page of a website, it's make it so that that bottom cutoff looks like I need to continue scrolling. Don't make it look like it finishes at that bottom part. Don't make the color difference. Don't make it look like that. Make so I can scroll down. Point 2, navigation. Make it simple navigation. It doesn't really matter what order you put the navigation in, but don't have like 40 navigation bars across the top. Have 5, 6, 7 at most type thing across the top on there. Easy and simple language. Do not jargon me. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't mess with me. Make it easy. Make it simple languaging. Make it clear what everything is. You know, and this is a simple thing. People try and break it down to like 1 or 2 words. No, you can use more words if that makes it more clear. Ultimately, longer headlines work better than shorter headlines. So we know that, and that's what we're looking to do. Point 4, give me all the information, okay? Give me the prices on your website. Don't try and hide that and say, oh no, look, make them call us to find out the thing. They're not going to call. Give them all the information they need to be able to buy right there and then. Allow them to purchase on the website type thing. Make it easy. Give me all the information I need. Allow me to find it all so that I can actually make the purchase decision before I even call you. I don't even need to call a salesperson. I just need to call and make an order. I've got all the information I need through the website. You got to have an offer on each page, though, a call to action. So point 5, make sure you have an offer on each page, some call to action on each page. You're allowed multiple as well. You can have several down the side ultimately, and that one can even move with as they scroll down it, 2 or 3 at the bottom. Ultimately, you want to make an offer on each page. You want people to respond. I like them to be able to have different levels of response on each page. Like I like people to be able to subscribe to a newsletter, so that's a low-level response. Just, you know, ask for some information. A high-level response, book a call now, or contact this, or download this information, or buy this now. You know, so you can go with different levels of offer on the page, but ultimately every page needs some form of a response device. Keep your forms simple. Do not make your forms like your salespeople will want you to have, you know, 74,000 things asked on every page. Keep your forms simple. Name, rank, and serial number. Name, phone number, email address. Don't try and make it into a whole bunch of things. You'll get the rest of the details later if you keep it simple and do that. Make contacting you. Point 7, make your contact page easy. I hate contact pages. I've got to fill in my name and address and phone number and when do I want to buy and how much is my budget and all that. That's stupid. Your contact page should have a list of everyone in your company. It should have their emails right next to it so I can click it. It should have their phone numbers, preferably their cell phone number right next to it so I can click that from my phone and call that person very, very simply. Number 8, test your buttons. All the buttons on your site should be tested. If you've put a button up there and it's graphically designed and it's never being hit, then you got to change that button out, okay? You got to make sure that the buttons that are on there are actually being used. If not, get rid of it and put a button up that is going to be used. You know, by a button, I mean a little square thing that people can click on. Test your headlines. Every page, different headline. Every one that you've got, those headline tests. Remember yesterday we talked about how to write a headline? Well, you need to test them on every single page of your website. Each page on your website has a different headline, so it's got to be something you've tested and looked at and working. Point 10, measure. You know, you've got to do measurement, and Google Analytics is brilliant. There's so many ways to do your analytics on your website, but you've got to be measuring times on your website, time on site, clickbacks, all of these different things. Sit down with someone and actually analyze what's working on your website and what's not. And it's got to be done on a regular basis. You know, looking at your website once a week is great. Looking at it once a year, that's crazy. You got to be every week looking at what's working, what's not, what's hitting, what's not, what buttons are being used, what buttons aren't. Number 11, make sure you got video and pictures on your website. Video keeps people on your site. Pictures engage people with your site. Again, make the pictures real. Make sure the pictures are looking at what you want the person to look at. Even if you got to reverse the picture. If your main article is here and the person's looking that way, they don't read that sort of thing. You've got to have them looking this way, pointing even to it. An arrow towards it is very important. I love arrows. Arrows get people to look at things. It drags their attention to it as part of your graphics. Testimonials, written, audio, and video testimonials should be on your website. Make sure they're there because they will outsell you. Every page that describes a product or service should have a testimonial or 2 or 3 on it. Content, you got to educate me. If you want me to like your website, you got to educate me so that you seem to be the expert so that I can know, like, and trust you. Okay, I've got to be able to know, like, and trust you. We all know that from sales, but it's got to be on your website as well. Make the information simple, okay? Don't overcomplex it. Make the simple information, but even do it in infographics. Have the information turned into a graphic. You know, if there's, here's the reasons why you're better than someone, turn that into a graphic and make a nice infographic on there. If there's 7 steps to something, turn it into an infographic. Don't just have it as an article, turn it into an infographic, a picture that people can share. They'll steal it, they'll share it on their thing, but you'll have your name and logo in the dang thing. So make sure that's on everywhere. Answer people's questions. Like, think about, I always find it funny that we all have to have the FAQs section, you know, the frequently asked questions. Well, that is what people do. People frequently have the top 20 or 25 questions or 21 questions about a product or service when they're buying it. You should know what they are because you're in the industry. So write answers for all of them. Have videos for each of them. Here's the top 20 questions we're asked. People have questions when they're buying something because they've never done it before or because they want to learn more about it. Please answer their questions. But even answer them in your headlines. Answer them in your other articles. Answer them in your other pictures and videos as well. Point 16, have specific landing pages for different target audiences or different products, okay? So if you're marketing a particular product or you're having people find a particular product, you can build separate landing pages within the site. Don't just think every single person is going to land on that front page. And again, that's why we have offers on every single page. Oftentimes, if you've written an article or you've written you know, the 7 reasons why this or the 10 steps to that, it could be a blog article or just an article on your site, then often people will find that directly. And so we've got to make sure that every page is kind of like a landing page, but have specific ones for different target audiences and different groups that are looking for you. Point 17, this one is very important. Make sure it's mobile friendly, and if possible, make sure it's secure. HTTPS is very much important in this day and age. Secure site is over and above unsecure site. Layout, keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate the layout. Don't make it too hard for me to follow. Don't make it look like I'm halfway through a page when I'm not. You know, I want a simple layout. I don't want to be too complex and too massive with it. Keep it fairly easy for people to follow. Your social media buttons. I don't like social media buttons up in the top header. Why? They're bright, okay? The social media buttons are made bright for a reason. The Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, the LinkedIn, the Pinterest, all of these things. I like them more down towards the bottom so that, yes, they're still on every page. They're still next to each article so I can share each article, etc. But I don't like them up the top where it takes my interest away from all of the other stuff that I'm trying to keep them on the site. It's the same as I don't really like linking to blog articles within the site because it makes it then harder for people to navigate again. I kind of, if they find the blog and look through the blog, fantastic, because the blog's posted from up top. But I don't want to draw them away from the main site type thing. If I have to, and again, that's why I don't like linking to outside sites unless I have the ability to have a pop-up. I don't want to link to an outside site unless it pops up, because otherwise it takes them off my site, okay? Number 20, keep it up to date, okay? Always keep it up to date. The blog articles, your address, the things that are happening, there should always be maintenance on your website. And that comes to even the simple things of, if I can be really blunt, having 404s or having bad links, if your website is more than a year or 2 old, you're probably going to have some bad links in there. Have someone performing maintenance regularly on your website, looking for bad links, looking for out-of-date information. Keep it up to date. I know it's tough. I know it costs money, but it makes you money as well. So you got to be thinking about the fact that that out-of-date information or the bad spelling or the typo that you haven't picked up, it does make you seem amateurish. So make sure that you keep it up to date. You keep your info the newest possible, dates and things. And that's why sometimes making sure your website is easy to update, that you don't have to go back through the main company and go through 17 steps to get one word changed. Making sure it's easy to update is often a very important aspect of it too. Number 21, I said it at the beginning, but I'm going to finish out on it, is make things easy to find. Make it easy for me to find stuff. Don't make me go through 7 clicks to get to something. 2 clicks, 3 clicks, easy to buy. I don't want to have to click 7 things to buy something from you. I want to click 2 or 3. Amazon's a genius at that, you know, one-click purchase type stuff. Slide your thumb across. These are the things. Now, ultimately, gang, I'm going to say something that is very important. Use professionals. You know, oftentimes we wanting to do stuff in-house with websites and stuff like that, and that is great if you got the money to afford professionals to do it. But if you don't, you've got to use professionals for this stuff. You know, back in the day, those who are old enough like me will remember that Yellow Pages was the one thing you had to be in. And if you weren't there, your business didn't survive or thrive. Web is exactly that now. You must be there. You must be in good stead. So I would highly suggest using real professionals to get real results when it comes to the web. But keep all those 21 points in mind when you're looking at what you want to achieve, okay? Let me just touch on SEO just for a section. I talked about it on the front page, talked about it with navigation, but ultimately, people finding you is about content. People finding you is about content. Absolutely, your content has to be hashtagged, has to be tagged, has to be ready. All your videos have to be transcribed if possible, and all of that sort of stuff. But ultimately, it's about having more up there that people can find, and that's how they find you. Social media, one of my favorite things. It's so beautiful and so wonderful. It's free, right? No, it's not. It's not free. You have to employ someone to do it. You have to pay now. See, social media is like a database, okay? And your database could be, you can have your LinkedIn database. You can have your YouTube database, all your subscribers on your YouTube channel, Facebook database, your Twitter database, your Instagram database, your Pinterest database. Every business has these multiple databases as well as your CRM. Yes, you need a CRM for all your customers, but these are also like databases. And the same as it costs you money to post a letter to your customer base or send an email to your customer base. People say email is free. No, it's not. You got to be on email. You got to be paying for it. It's cheap, but it's not free. So let's take a look at the top 21 things that I believe we need to do if we're going to be great at social media. Number one, pick 2 or 3. Okay, 2 or 3 that you're going to use. If you are using all 6 of the majors plus 2 or 3 others, then you need to have a very vast team to be great at that. I would rather you picked 2 or 3 mediums. Facebook should probably be in that mix for everybody. LinkedIn if you're in the professional services realm. YouTube if you got more YouTube, Pinterest, and Instagram you got a more visual product or service. Twitter if you want to be on a more fast pace and interactive type thing. But you've got to pick 2 or 3 that you really push and become good at. Plan them. Know that what you're doing. Point 2, consistency. You got to post consistently. You can't just post once a week and then nothing happens. And then a month later you post something. You got to post consistently and plan the number of posts, okay? Plan out that I'm going to post 4 posts a day. See, if you're on, say, LinkedIn, you want to do 1, maybe 2 posts a day. YouTube, you can post multiple posts a day on YouTube, 4, 5, 6 even. Facebook, you can post multiple posts a day, 4, 5, 6 again. Instagram, you can do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 again on Instagram. Now with the story on Facebook and stuff, you can post a whole bunch more often than you used to do. Twitter, you could post 24 a day on Twitter and no one would care. You know, there's so many posts on Twitter all the time. Pinterest, again, lower number of posts, but more high quality. So think about your plan. How often am I going to post? Then plan what type of posts you're going to do. You know, a testimonial. How often will you do a testimonial post? How often will you do a meme? How often will you do a sales post? How often will you do an interview? How often will you do just a straight up word post? These are the things you want to be planning it so you can think about it. And that's why you're probably going to use some sort of a software like a Hootsuite or a Sprout or something like that to manage these things so you can put it in at the start of the week. And then all you have to do during the week is the interaction with people. Point 3, images and video. Even Twitter today, you put up to 4 photos or one great photo. Instagram is all, Pinterest is pictures, Facebook pictures and video, YouTube is video, LinkedIn video is a killer. So remember that it used to be just about words and stuff. Pictures then became the superhero. Now video is the most important, and live and the feeds for them, the stories are becoming even more powerful in the way that people are interacting with this stuff. So, point 4, I'll go back to it. Go live. Use the live on there. Don't just go on Facebook without posting things. If you're going to put a video up, do it live. If you're going to put up some on Instagram, go live on it. Then all of your customers see that you're live, okay? And I'm certain that over time, more and more will use the live feature on their sites. Number 5, test and measure. You can use Google Analytics to measure the search response on your posts. Measure your posts. Take a look at what's going on. You know, I like to think that... If we're looking at a post that gets a lot of response, we see similarities in that and we post more that gets that. If we get a lot of interaction from customers, we get a lot of sales from it, we look at that post, we see what's similar, and we keep modeling on what works rather than what didn't work type thing. Number 6, join or build communities. Okay, you got to join communities and be a part of communities, groups, communities. They're all different names from LinkedIn to Facebook, but you've got to become part of them and build your own communities. Okay, start groups, start communities that people want to join and would like to be a part of, and then keep active in those. You don't have to do brand new posts in each of them. You can share posts from other segments, but ultimately you want to be putting new posts in those if you've got the communities, and keep yourself commenting in the communities that are there. Point 7, it's okay to use advertising. Okay, like Facebook. Facebook changed its whole algorithm where you used to be able to connect free to everyone that liked your page. Now they basically said, hey, if you want to connect with everyone that likes your page, you got to pay us some money, okay? Yeah, it might be a penny a person or half a penny a person, but you've still got to pay to reach your database, okay? So be okay with that and understand that. And that's where, like Google advertising, Facebook advertising, LinkedIn advertising, all of the advertising on all of these sites is gaining traction because it works, gang. It's gaining traction because it works. So keep that in mind, learn it, and do it. Again, they all have great videos to teach you how to use their advertising. Facebook's brilliant at it. Google's brilliant at it. Follow them, learn them, and do that stuff. Number 8, view every single one of them as your database, okay? You got to keep building your database. How do you add to the database? Add more likes, add more followers, add more of this, add more connections. It's a database. Keep building it. The more you build it, obviously, the better it is. The more numbers of people who follow you. Don't pay for them, though, like, you know, go and get fake followers. That's just crazy. Go and build your database though. Add things. Ask people to follow you. Ask people to connect with you. Give them a reason to follow you. You know, only our Twitter followers actually get X, Y, and Z. You know, our sales are started by people who follow us on Instagram. Restaurant reservations are go out first to people on our connections. You know, these are some of the things you need to look for. Point 9, interact. I hate websites or Facebook or that where they post something up, you write a comment back, and then no one comments back to you. No one communicates with you. This is a conversation. Remember, it's social media. Someone says something to you, you reply to them. If you're at a party and someone talks to you, you talk back. Okay, interact with people, like their comments, say good day, and then communicate back with them. Especially on LinkedIn. You know, if someone comments on something on LinkedIn, send them a message, give them a phone call. Even it's not a bad way of doing business. Point 10, be social. Okay, don't just think of this thing as media. You're not just posting stuff for the sake of having content out there. You're being social. You're interacting with people. You're looking for friends. You're making friends. You're making acquaintances, contacts, connections. It's about connecting with people. So be social. That also means don't just be business on there. Have social things on there. If you take the family to Disneyland, then hey, presto, post that up on there and give people this part of that you're a real human being, not just a business. 11, sell. Be clear on the fact that every 5th or 6th post, you're allowed to sell. You're allowed to post things up there and make a sales pitch. If you can put a photo up on Instagram selling something on there and making a pitch to people, fantastic. Now, a hint on that, you can go back a week later and delete your sales posts so someone can go through and they look at it and they don't see as all sales, so they follow you on Instagram. They might see 2 or 3 sales posts, but not 100 of them. It's fine to go back and delete those things later on if you want to do that type thing. Number 12, it's not just up to the marketing team. The whole team are your social media team. Everyone on the team needs to be posting and sharing. And if there's something posted on the main page, then everyone on the team can share it on their Facebook, on their Instagram, on their LinkedIn type thing. Make sure the whole team's involved, not just the marketing person doing it. Number 13, I think this is one of the most important, and that is be passionate. Your personality has to come through. The posts that get the most response are the ones where there's passion and emotion and something going on in them. You know, when people see emotion, when people see passion, and that's why video works so well, there's more response to it. So be you. Have personality on social media. Don't hide your personality. You find the people who have the most followers online are the people with the most personality. So make sure you have personality out there. Point 14, boost high performers. If you've got something that's out of the ordinary performing well, like you put up a meme or a post or a video and it's outperforming everything else, it's getting great, it's starting to go viral, boost it. Add some money behind it, because if it's doing well and you put some money behind it, it'll do fantastic. Point 15, use hashtags. You got to use hashtags. It's crazy in this day and age not to allow people to find you through another source. You know, about 10 hashtags is the ideal number to use on any particular item. Less than that is okay. Much more than that, you start to go a little hashtag crazy at that point in time. But use the hashtag so people can find you from other means, not just from being there. Real messages. I hate auto messages, especially you LinkedIn people that have auto messages. Oh, thanks for connecting with me. I'd love to chat with you sometime soon. Get rid of that stuff. If you're not willing to reply to me, then don't connect with me. Okay? If you're not willing to write me a real message, don't connect with me. All right? Pretty simple in that one. Point 17, see what your competitors are doing. Look up your competitors' social media. See what's working for them. See what's doing great for them. See what's bombing for them. What are they posting about? What's helping? You know, look at your competitors. Point 18, color scheme. Try and stick with a fairly consistent color scheme through your social media. You know, if your color scheme is blue and reds, then stay with blue and reds. If your color scheme is pinks and purples, stay with pinks and purples. Don't try and mix it up all the time and have a totally different color scheme. People want to sort of feel like when they look at your page and they see all the pictures on your Instagram, it's all the similar stuff. Your videos will have a similar coloring and a similar background to it. That sort of thing. And remember, color does help you stand out on social media. Number 19, automate. I mentioned it before, you can use things like Hootsuite and Sprout and all of these different services, but use that to make sure that there is consistency of posting. Otherwise, sometimes you forget, sometimes you run out. You can always post more when you're in a social scenario or when you're in a creating content system, but make sure you have it automated and that it does go up on a regular basis and there's consistency. Number 20, share. Share other people's stuff, okay? Be willing to share other people's things, and because if it's good content, put it on your site. Be willing to do that. It's not, you don't have to have only your own. If it's good content, put it on. People appreciate good content from where they got it. Number 21, stay up to date, okay? There's changes every month with the way Facebook allows you to put buttons on. There's changes every month with the way Instagram, you know, if you're not on a business profile on Instagram, you're losing out type thing. There's definite information you can get. Keep up to date with this stuff. Follow some of the social media commentators out there and keep up to date with what they're teaching every single day. Oh, dang, we covered a lot of information right there. 42 points at least on websites and on social media. So, homework. Go take a look at yours and give yourself a rating. And what are the top 2 or 3 things you can do to add value to your website, to add value to your social media? Start making a look at your social media plan. Which ones are you going to use? Which 2 or 3? And how often are you going to post? Start thinking about these things. Start building it in. You know, as a 30x business, you're going to grow, and you're going to grow massively. You might not have all the time to do every single strategy. In fact, I highly doubt you've got the time to use all 42 unless you've got a team of 30 people watching this video with you. But get the ideas down on paper, make sure you got them, and then get to work on it. You know, homework from today is pretty simple. Something for your website, do the evaluation. Something for your social media, do the evaluation, and get started on these things. Start building your databases, because that's what it's all about. Website, high priority. Social media, high priority. Maybe, just maybe, you need to employ someone full-time to handle this stuff. But at least to point it to someone so that you're getting some work done on this. Take care. Bye for now. Social media, websites, love them to death, but they're a lot of work. Keep working at it. Let's do this.
Okay. Okay. Whew. All right, gentlemen, let's start with who is using what from a social media platform perspective.
Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, very little.
Okay. Bruce.
LinkedIn, exclusively, just small posts here and there.
Okay. Wayne.
LinkedIn exclusively. We're so regulated by the securities industry that we actually have to run everything past them.
You have to run all the posts past the
Everything.
regulation. Okay. Nikki.
I'm using all of them, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, not using TikTok, refuse to use that. Using all of them, but I'm outsourcing to 2 different companies. I own three different companies, and I'm testing 2 different social media companies that post on a regular basis for me.
Okay. And how do you test that?
Well, it's not a matter of testing it. It's a matter of how do you get people to follow you on the social media. And that's what I really wanted to talk about. If I could a minute.
Yep.
You have to find people who are influencers, who are real authorities in your industry that are also on social media that will mention you in their tweet or their Facebook post or their Instagram post to get followers to yourself. Because if you've only got 12 followers to your Facebook account, it doesn't matter how you measure it. It's nothing to measure. And so my challenge has been for the last, I say since October, November timeframe, is how to get more followers that are potential buyers and not just people who are following just to be because they want to say, oh, I follow, 12,000 different Twitters or Facebooks, or getting the quality followers is a bigger challenge. He didn't talk about that. And that's a challenge. You even have the most wonderful social media platform in the world, but if you don't have any followers looking at what you're doing,
That's right.
you waste your time. So my challenge is trying to figure out how to get followers. And there's, from what I've discovered, there's 3 methods. And I won't spend a lot of time on it, but I'll briefly cover it. There's white hat, there's gray hat, and there's black hat. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, avoid black hat like the plague, stay away from it. Gray hat, I'll talk about in a minute, but white hat is what I mentioned a minute ago. White hat is more, you find an influencer or you find an authority in your industry that will mention you occasionally, and you may have to grease their palm a little bit. You may have to make a phone call. You may have to offer to do something for them. You wash their car. I don't know, but that's not easy to find an influencer that will, in your industry, to mention you in their social media, because they may have, I've got one friend who has, I won't mention his name, but he's probably got close to 1 million followers. Well, I don't want him to mention me because he's in the political arena. But if he were to mention me, I'd probably get a lot of new followers, but I'm not sure I want those followers. So you have to be careful who is your authority. Now let's talk about the gray hat. The gray hat is where you go to a company that has a known database of influencers that does in fact pay to play. What's it called? Quiddo Pro, or what do they call it?
Oh, yep,
You know what I'm talking about.
yep,
Quid for Pro or something.
Yep. quid pro quo.
Right,
Quid
yeah,
pro
exactly.
quo.
So there are companies out there that will actually, you can pay them and they'll go out there and find those influencers. They may not be people you know, but they may be people that can get you to get the followers. So the real secret to social media has nothing to do with what you post. It has to do with your followers. And, you know, if you don't have followers, don't waste your time. Now, let me go into one other thing, because and you tell me when to shut up, Steve, and I will. But we're testing right now 2 social media companies that do what you're not, maybe not you're doing, but I know that Ross is doing. He's using a girl locally. Her name is Christy to post some blogs, some posts out there, and I see them. But is he getting any business from it? I don't know. And then your other partner, Gerald, is doing another company. He's posting stuff out there. Again, he's probably paying someone to do that. And has he got followers? I don't know. But we're testing a couple of them. This is one, and I'll share with you the Slack channel. This is one that if you do have followers, they seem to be a good quality. They will research your company and they will, for $99 a month, they'll post 2 or 3 times a week to whatever platforms you want. We're testing them right now with one of our products. The other one that I like, which is a US-based company, which seems to be one we're trying also, for $98 a month, they'll do the same thing. Now, the one I really want to home in on is this one here. Guy's based in Charlotte, and he seems to be maybe, I've been talking to him real time on the phone. He's another one I'm looking at. So the reason why I bring all these 3 to your attention is that I've kind of vetted the ugly ones out. If you go out and Google who are $99 social media managers, you'll find a gazillion of them in Asia and other parts of the world. And we did that. And now we've narrowed it down to 3 that we think we are going to home in on to do different things for different products we're selling. That being said, let me give you a whole nother thing that I've done. So you may not have the luxury of doing this, but what I've done is I've created landing pages that have nothing to do with my company. And here's one of them I just created literally over the Christmas holidays. GetVoip.click. And I mean, I paid someone $150 to create a landing page. Haven't done anything with it yet, but you can. I'm going to try to get it out there in the world as an authority of reviewing.
I got you.
Whether you're reviewing me or other VoIP companies, I'll be out there. And then I'm also doing landing pages that are specific to cities. For example, I just did a page, and again, this is something I did in Charlotte. I want to go into the Charlotte market. So what I did is I did a landing page in Charlotte. Haven't done much with it yet. I just started this literally over the Christmas holidays to someone who is an expert like Brad is in a small way. Keeping up with this is very difficult. So I've created a landing page that is just specific to market to Charlotte to see if I can get someone in there. Now, the last one I'll show you, then I'll shut up, is this one here that I'm actually getting some results from, believe it or not. And I did it just right after Thanksgiving. And I took this domain name, WinstonSalemVoIP.com, and I made it all about Winston-Salem, but also plugged in there. If you click on it, you'll see it talks about technology in Winston-Salem, and it's getting some traffic, and it makes it look like that I'm talking about Winston-Salem's innovation and arts. And then if you scroll down the page, you'll see, then it plugs in, hey, here's a company that does technology that's hosted VoIP. So again, these are some new things I'm experimenting with.
Yep.
They're not very expensive. You know, there's my 2 cents worth in social media and what I'm trying to do. And I've been doing this for, 25 plus years. And let me tell you what, I'm learning something every day. And I'm glad you recorded this because I want to go back through Brad's things because our website probably needs some more call to action to get more selling on the front page.
Gotcha.
So feel
All
free
right,
to ask
Mickey.
any questions. I'll be more than happy to elaborate.
Appreciate it, sir. Bruce, we'll throw it up to you. Any thoughts, questions coming out of the content today?
Yeah, there's a lot we don't do. Our type of business is more solution oriented on a high level as far as, is somebody going to watch an ad from us, or is somebody going to watch a video from somebody like Robert? And so we're developing answers to solutions, answers to problems that a municipality might have, a police department, sheriff's department, something. And here I love what I've learned about the questions. Is if you're putting in the questions, do you have a situation where you have a police force that you can't be in every place at every time? So there's certain things that we are looking at to develop to be answers. And I love that about answers. Frequently asked answers. Well, that's what people want. They want answers. So that's what I got out of that, is that's to be expected. And just the last 2 or 3 videos, the theme seems to be, well, I guess that's what I've got out of it, is put trigger words, have trigger words, do hashtags, get somewhere where you're not, and provide some type of solution. Robert likes to talk. Well, let's get him on doing, a 5-minute, I keep saying solution, but somebody that's looking for that is going to be looked for. We are very hot right now with municipalities and solving problems. We have testimonials, we just haven't collected them. We
Gotcha.
have them. It's just a matter of getting them recorded. So that's the big thing for us. And then we want him to do that in his little posts on LinkedIn.
Yep.
Make it specific for this business. And that's what I think I've gathered, is get him in his lane where he is brilliant. And that
Right.
is talking to people.
All right. Well, thank you, Bruce. And kind of building on what Nikki was saying as well, having a different landing page for the different questions is important. Right. Chris, we'll slide over to you, my friend. Any questions, any thoughts coming out of the video piece?
No, I've been through it several times. So I like it. It's just, if you look at it as all 21 things, you're thinking overwhelming, but you don't have to do it all. And when you break it down and just say, well, I'm going to try this, this, and this. The one thing we don't do, though, is we don't have prices on the website because every job is so different. It's almost impossible to do that.
Can you do
But,
ranges, or will that not work either?
Not really. It kind of works against you. They'll pick what they can spend $500 on when you could probably sell them $1,000 job.
Okay.
But the Carolina Boutique, the new shops that we're opening and website, it'll have prices and everything on that because those will be things built in-house and just delivered.
Okay.
So for smaller parties and events, so those will be between like $60, $70 and $300 or $400.
So that's more of a product than anything else.
Yeah, what we do right now is decorate rather than just sell.
Gotcha.
Like a gift basket.
Cool. Thank you, sir. Wayne.
I'm on my home computer, which is the desktop. I want to be sure y'all can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I listened to it earlier today, and I think the 2 things I got out of it was our website's 5 years old, so it needs to be revisited. And we need to add a frequently asked questions and give more information. One of the things I've really learned from Brad, not just this video, but several of them, is don't hide stuff. Just give it to people and they'll call you as the expert. And so I'm going to put the website as our #1 priority right now.
Nice. Nice. Cool,
By
guys.
the way, I enjoyed listening to Nikki, and I mean that I'm not being sarcastic. He taught me a lot by what he was saying about all the effort he's putting in.
Yeah, and the vetting of the services is great.
Yeah. If
So
I
guys,
could-
I wrote down a couple notes, and it might be a little combination of last week and this week that I just want to throw out there, and if it spurs a discussion, great. Number one, people are lazy. Mentally, they are lazy. So anything that you're doing I would suggest, has got to be super straightforward. You know, don't bury the headline in the story. You know, we're inundated with so much stimulation that tell them what you want them to do, tell them what it is, give them the details. Don't overwhelm them with information because they won't look at it, right? They'll cruise right past it. So, you know, 1 page per topic kind of thing, just keep it really simple, because people in general mentally are lazy, and they're not going to invest their mental horsepower with you looking at some marketing activity, something cute, something funny. I wouldn't do it. That being said, I would definitely be yourself, especially if you're in a service deal, and they're going to be working with you. I know, Wayne, like in your case, you know, you got to let Wayne come through so that when they meet you, it's the same person, the same language, the same person, the same style that's on your website, that's in your videos, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Right? You know, based on all the things that are out there, calendarizing your marketing is a big deal. So having marketing in your default calendar so that you can be consistent with it is a big deal, right? As owners, as leaders of organizations, you have 2 jobs: recruiting great people and recruiting great customers. And if you really want to give it the attention it deserves, it's got to be either in your calendar or someone that you employ or subcontract to in their calendar. And if you are going to outsource it, you got to manage the living crap out of them to make sure it's happening. Right. And you know, that might make sense for a part-timer, right? The people that are good at the technical side of websites probably aren't the same people that are good at running social media. So I've really moved away over time, and I think we have in general, of the finding the one great marketing person for you.
You're right.
I think that person is a unicorn,
Yeah.
right? You may have to have 2 or 3 people that are really good at small pieces of marketing that you put
Right.
together.
You're right, Steve.
Right. And I think in the, you know, everyone coming out of working from home, I think that's a lot easier to put together than it was before. You know, one of the things that kind of caught me with Brad on the sales side of websites, and he is really into this buy now Amazon thought process. To be honest, guys, I'm not sure I'm there. In fact, I'm sure that I'm not. But what I do believe is that a website and social media can do some of the pre-sales activity that we used to do face-to-face or on the phone. And so if you think about digital getting people a portion down the track, you know, figure out what you're actually trying to sell based on the industry that you're in. It doesn't need to be put your credit card in here.
I think, Steve, he's on to something, and you're on to something also. I'm gonna agree with both you and Brad in that you don't necessarily want to do a checkout. You want to pre-qualify them on the web as much as you can. And I know he said don't ask them too many questions, but you got to ask them a few questions to get them pre-qualified. Are they wanting a phone for their home, or they want their phone for Exxon Corporation?
That's right.
Or something in between. Can I go back to something else too about blogs?
Yeah.
And you know, one thing I've learned also in the last few months and years is that we used to do very short blogs, typically 500 words. Well, we've found out that 500-word blogs are not worth the time in writing. A good blog needs to be a minimum of 3,000 to 4,000 words. Now, how do you write 3,000 to 4,000 words? You don't. I mean, I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of cool artificial intelligence out there that'll help you write those articles. One of them's called Jasper, which you may be familiar with.
Mhm.
The other one's called Chat OpenAI, which you can't get on now because it's so overloaded. It's one of Elon Musk companies. And there's another one just came out called Writer. And if you start writing an article, Jasper will help you finish writing it. But to be a real authority on any topic, you've got to have a 3,000 or 4,000 word blog for Google to even recognize you as an authority. And you got to do it every week. Every week.
Thank you, Nikki. So it sounds like the calendar becomes even more and more important, and we need some technology to help bolster it, right?
Yeah, artificial intelligence. This thing is here to stay.
So guys, Brad had mentioned Hootsuite a couple times. I've used that in the past. It works great for scheduling posts and all that kind of good stuff. So there are some tools out there that are, you know, free and or inexpensive that can help with some of the management of this activity.
That's called Hoops or Hoopsa?
Hootsuite, Hoot. It looks like an owl.
Okay.
Spell it again, Brad, Steve,
I'm sorry.
spell it again.
It's HOOTSUITE. Hootsuite.
Okay,
And what's nice about it is you can go in and schedule, you know, your whole week of posting and do it right now.
For $99 a month, and you can pay someone to do the whole thing for you.
That is correct. Especially if you have the creative skills that I have, which are very, very limited, right? Yeah, guys, in general, though, when I think of this whole topic, we go back to something that we've talked about in the past, and that is active marketing versus passive marketing, right? Having social media, having a website, having all that kind of stuff in place is passive until you calendarize, put in reasons for them to buy, update it regularly. That's when it starts to move into active marketing. And as we look at 2023, the more active marketing that we do, that we can leverage, measure, and put more or less activity into to get more or less results, the better off it's going to be. I have always thought of social media as a redheaded stepchild because I'm 53 years old. What I am finding is that it's got to be part of your marketing activity as long as you treat it, or especially when you treat it like an active marketing strategy. So as you go through and decide the couple, 3 things you're going to work on, please make sure that you set it up in a way where if I do more of it, I'll get more results. Not if I do more of it, I'll hope for the best. Be careful of the vanity metrics of blog, you know, how many likes and how many views and all that kind of stuff. What I've always thought of, and we have this round robin discussion with the guys at Run Mosquito Joe, I could care less about the number of people that click on the website. I'm more interested on the number of people that fill out the form. Right? The rest of it is colored bubbles. I'm not interested. So especially if, you know, Nikki's done some legwork for us, but if you start talking to companies, if they start talking about vanity metrics, run for the hills or pin them down to real test and measure results. Guys, anything else for today?
No, this was good. Don't forget to email us the recording of this, because Joan couldn't be here with us, and I really would like her to have heard this.
For sure, Nikki. As soon as I get it, I'll forward it to Ross and out to the gang. Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, guys, it's 63 degrees outside. I understand cooler weather is coming, so get out there, enjoy it while you can. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Left hand out, right hand back. 1, 2, 3. Watch Purdue tonight. Whoosh.
Thanks,
Later.
guys.
Have a great
Hey,
day.
y'all.
See ya.
Thank you.
I texted you. It was 4.
Me?